It's a win-win situation with games and interviews. Every win-win situation is fun for me and
Hey, welcome to Win-Win Situation. Hi, Joe. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm terrific today.
That's good. Who do we have here today?
Today we have Academy Award nominated animator Gary Schwartz.
Yay!
Yay! Ah, he gets a train signal.
Yay!
Hi, Gary.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, no problem. Why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself before we put you through the ringer?
Okay, I will tell just a little bit about myself. My name is Gary Schwartz. I've been animating, doing kinetic craziness professionally since 1978.
Beautiful.
What do you mean by kinetic craziness?
Well, there's the world of being an artist, which is a subset of a subset of a subset of a subset. Then there's the world of animators who are artists, which is a subset of 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 a subset. And then there are stop motion animators, which is a quantum leap of a subset beyond those subsets.
Wow, so many subsets.
You are our first quantum guest, Gary.
Thank you. I am so ready for this.
It is indeterminate as to whether you're a guest or not, because it's quantum.
Well, we're so excited to put you through the ringer, so to speak. What game do we have up first?
Well, let's look.
This is one of my most favorite ones. It's called Don't Eat My Cat. So, the object of the game, Gary, is you're going to hear our cat, and you can't eat it, okay?
Okay.
Just refrain from eating the cat, and that's it.
Okay, are you ready?
Bye.
All right, it looks really delicious.
You look tempted.
Gary's
Gary, don't do it! Don't do it!
No, he's full of restraint. He's not eating the cat.
Good thing he's behind a screen. There's no possible way he could do it anyway.
No, he couldn't because he's on the other end of a Zoom.
You could
he couldn't.
try.
All right, the cat is safe.
Oh, Gary!
Yay, you get 2 points for not eating the cat. 2 points, Gary. Thank you. Nice work.
Good job, Gary. How did you restrain yourself like that?
Well, while that was occurring, I was looking at my cat, Alex, and she's sleeping. And I didn't want her to disturb her wah.
Good.
Well, that's good.
I'm glad we have no animal cruelty on our show so far.
I mean, it's impossible anyway. So
With the social distancing and all, it's really hard to do animal cruelty.
So why don't you introduce this next segment?
The next segment is a voicemail left by my partner's Auntie Pam, and she's got a riddle. So let's hear from her.
So listen carefully. So because the object will be for you to. Well, you'll see. She says it at the end. Just listen carefully to Auntie Pam.
If you don't hear it clearly, don't worry. We'll repeat any part you need to hear again.
Are you ready?
I am ready.
And so it begins Tuesday morning, just like Monday morning, and just like Wednesday morning will be. Can you guess what I do for a living? Bye.
All right.
All right.
Did you hear Auntie Pam there? All right.
I sure did.
Great.
So what do you think she does for a living?
I think she schedules appointments for animals.
Very good. Oh, very good guess, but not quite it.
Sorry.
Do you want one more try?
We can't give it away. We'll just keep recycling it until one day somebody guesses it right.
Really?
Don't you think we should? Or do you want to give it away?
I want to give it away.
Okay.
But you can get one more guess first. Get one more guess. Do you want to hear it again? You want to?
Okay, it's an animal therapist.
Animal therapist. No. No.
But therapist is it's like getting closer to it.
It's getting closer. She's a compassionate person. Auntie Pam is a nanny. She's a nanny. So that was one of those plastic kids' toys that has the animal sounds in it.
Oh,
Yay.
okay.
Yeah. So it was a good guess, but hard to guess.
That one's tricky, Gary, because that's a real question, whereas the other one was just refraining from eating a cat. So I think you're still doing pretty great. You're still ahead here.
Yeah, don't worry.
I'm ready.
All right. So up next, Gary, I heard that you like buttons. Is this true?
I love buttons
Yes.
and knobs of all variety,
Well, perfect, because
especially
this
analog.
Well, great. We've got some analog buttons here. This next game is called Pick a Button. So we've got a red one, we've got a blue one, and we've got a purple one. Which button would you like to press?
Oh, obviously the purple one. It's the combination of the others.
All right. Yeah.
All right, Joe.
Color theory entering into button choices. Whoa, that was extremely distorted and loud.
We haven't cleaned that button in a while.
I think that one was just crushed completely under Gary's mighty finger pushing.
Yeah, you can't press so hard, Gary. You got to be a little bit lighter. Why don't you pick another button?
Okay, a red button.
Red button.
Everybody loves the red button. Okay, Joe.
Whoa.
Hey! Congratulations, you just blew up the bull on Wall Street, but not that girl that's standing in front of the bull. The defiant girl, she's fine.
I'm afraid to say, Gary, that you've destroyed a work of art, but it's the bull on Wall Street, and the girl is still there.
Hey, that's a victory in and of itself.
Wow. That's some loud points. Yeah. Thank you.
3 points for blowing up the bull. Why don't you just press the third button?
Let's just see what the third button does here. Oh, that sounds terrible. What in blazes was that?
Congratulations, Gary. You just blew up the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Oh, that old thing?
Hey.
How do you feel? How do you feel now that you are a terrorist?
Well, now I can see the space that was always blocking there for hundreds of years.
Yeah, so much more clear. Yeah. Have you ever been to the Leaning Tower?
I have not.
No. Have you ever been to Italy?
Many times.
Oh, what did you see when you were in Italy?
Oh, we were in Florence, Venice, all over central and northern Italy.
That's beautiful. I had the good fortune to visit Rome in 2010, and I saw Rome, not those other places. But
when in Rome, you're in Rome.
You're in Rome when you're in Rome. They have espresso. It's pretty good. They have cappuccino there.
We were just watching all these people gesticulating over their cell phones.
That's funny. So, are you ready to do another game, Gary?
I am so ready.
We have a special guest here. His name is Tony Questions. Are you ready to meet Tony Questions?
I'm ready to question Tony.
All right. Well, he's ready to question you.
Hello, Gary. This is Tony Questions with 20 questions with Tony Questions. I am going to ask you questions, and Yvonne is going to be the judge of the answers.
That's right. Are you ready, Gary?
I'm ready.
What are your top sins? Is that a toupee? Gotta go fast. Gotta go fast.
Come on, Gary.
Oh, no. My top sins are what's hidden behind me that's never in front.
Ooh, that's very good.
Good,
Is
you
that
get
a
a point.
toupee? What?
Oh, the hair.
What is your daily dosage of vitamin C?
20 milligrams.
If you could be any animal, what would you be?
I would be a kitty.
Oh,
I mean, sorry.
yeah, we're gonna give him a point
I
for that.
misheard
Yeah.
you there.
How many times a day do you pick your nose?
How many times a day am I allowed?
Ooh, that's depends on what country you're living in, I suppose. There. Thank you, Tony. Got some more questions from Tony. What is the moon made of?
It's made of green cheese.
Yeah. That's
Everybody
very good,
knows
very
that
good.
one.
What's for lunch?
What's for lunch is yesterday's dinner.
Where do you keep your nail clippers?
They're hidden, deeply hidden.
Who is your celebrity look-alike?
Oh, half the population of Hollywood.
We love Hollywood. We love Hollywood. It's so glamorous, Hollywood.
You do look a bit glamorous, Gary.
Well, we're only halfway through these, so we're going to keep going through them. So let's get some more from Tony.
All right, Tony, hit it.
Where can I find the booze?
Underneath and behind the refrigerator.
What's your middle name?
Robert.
Who is your first kiss?
Ooh.
I'll wait for this one.
Yeah, we're waiting around. And this one's supposed to be
This one's
fast-paced.
kind of juicy, but, we're going to slow it down just
Well,
for
you know,
this
it
one.
has to be Mom.
Aww.
Oh, that is
Aw.
sweet. All right, Tony, give him some more.
Okay, what's the worst movie?
The worst movie. Oh, the one I didn't get to see.
Yeah. Something that smells sweet. Something that smells sweet.
Oh, when Kathy bakes a cake.
Aw.
Aw, we love Kathy.
Keep on bringing those questions, Tony. These are real great.
What are dreams made out of?
They're made out of the surreptitious elements of our subconscious.
I think that's correct. We are almost done with the questions. We have 4 more questions to make 20.
Yeah, thank you, Gary. You're doing great. You're accruing more points than losing them.
Okay, merci beaucoup.
What is the grossest thing you can think of?
Living underneath this house.
That's pretty gross. What's the worst name for a baby?
Fred.
Say that again?
Fred.
Fred.
F-R-E-D.
Sorry to Freds everywhere, but you do have the worst name. Sorry, Fred. What is the best pizza place?
Oh, Supino's by far.
Where is Supino's?
It's an Eastern market.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm going to have to check it out sometime.
Question 20. What is the most jagged texture?
The glass that I crack.
Good enough.
Yeah. Thank you, Tony Questions, and thank you, Gary, for playing 20 Questions with Tony Questions.
How did you like meeting Tony?
Hey, Tony, we hang out with Tony.
He's a pretty nice guy, right? He went pretty easy on you today. What can I say?
I can tell.
Usually he fires them off pretty rapidly, but he was feeling like pretty chilled today. So
I wanted to know the actual answers to the questions.
Tony, it's time to go.
Okay.
Can you bring back Joe, please?
I'm gonna get my bicycle and leave.
Okay, well, I need Joe, so make sure to tell him to come back down, okay?
Tony's constantly hanging out here, even after he's already all done.
Well, Gary, if you thought that was tiring, wait until what we have in store for you next. Have you ever done an obstacle course in your life?
Yes, I have.
Great. Well, you're about to do another one.
Yeah. Have you do you have an athletic background because you seem quite healthy?
Well, my athletic background mostly focused on how to run away very fast from bullies.
It's a good skill.
That is a pretty good skill. And it's a good applicable one for a lot of people. I think that's a good reason to stay in shape, to run away from all those crazy people in the world.
So I can set this one up if that's
Oh,
okay.
yes,
Yeah?
please do. Take it away, Joe.
This one is an obstacle course. So this one is not a matter of wits. It's a matter of athletic ability. So we're going to send you through an obstacle course, and the goal is going to be delivering a perfectly formed orchid to the Cleveland Botanical Society. So that is, if you succeed in doing that, you win many points. This one's worth a good lot of points. And I can see that you've got your shorts and your shoes already on. Are you
Yes.
ready to go for this challenge? Okay.
I'm ready.
All right. Let's go out to the field here.
All right, here we are in the field, Gary.
There's going to be a 3-stage buzzer. You go at the third buzzer. It's 1, 2, 3, boom, and then you're off through the obstacle course.
You ready, Gary?
I'm ready.
Yeah. All right, he is off. He's
Oh, wow. He's a little wobbly.
Gary's doing pretty good. He's taking the lead. In fact, you can tell he's been keeping in shape during quarantine.
Yeah, Gary! Go, Gary! Go,
And
Gary!
his mask breathing is pretty good too. You can hear him. He's got a good oxygenation of his blood from all of his cardio.
Keep breathing! Keep on breathing!
And I see Gary has entered the field of broken glass.
Ow!
Oh, there's a little bit of blood, but not too much. There's some. There's some in the socks, but he's still pushing through. All right. Oh, and he has gone up the ladder at the burning apartment building. And he's already, wow, he scaled that fast. And he is
Gary!
inside the building looking for the orchid. There it is. Gary, it's in the middle of the room. Good. He's placed the ice cube at the base of the orchid to keep it nice and fresh. He's crossed the suspension bridge. And here he is already at the Botanical Gardens in Cleveland. Gary, give it to the botanist. The botanist has taken it. This is beautiful. And now he just has to exit. Nice work, Gary Schwartz. Hey. Gary, you win many points for that. That's like 30,000 points for completing that obstacle
Amazing
course.
job, Gary.
That is months of training.
So,
I couldn't have done it without you.
you've
Thank
been
you.
have been training for quite some time, I hear, right?
Yes.
You did a great job. How are you feeling now that you've won?
Oh, relieved, just relieved and thankful.
And how do you feel in general, like when you win, when you succeed?
When I win, I feel completeness and totality.
Yeah.
Before this, what was something that you've won before in your life?
I won the right to live another year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good.
Like most of this planet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
that's
all-
true.
We all got through a rough one.
Sure did. I sure do like all of your answers to everything, Gary. Can we just live inside of your mind?
You may live inside my mind. You'll have to sign this form, though.
Oh, okay, yeah. Send it over. I'll let our manager look at it.
Yeah. Our manager has power of attorney, so whatever he does, just he'll sign everything. It'll be
Yeah,
great.
it's
Yeah.
fine. Cool.
Right.
Well, thanks for the leeway. Oh, well, I know you must be exhausted, but we don't care. Because we want you to sing for us. And before we started the show today, you did sign a waiver saying, yes, I don't mind singing.
Yes, I'm ready. Me.
But before you do, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a list of topics. And, all right, here they are. I'm going to give you a list of 6 topics. And you have to choose 2 of these topics. So listen carefully, Gary. You ready?
I am ready.
We got fairy tales, sandwiches, the laws of physics, nightclubs, brittle matter, salty foods, paint chips, and animal behavior. You get to choose
Ooh.
2.
Okay. Definitely salt, chips, and animal behavior.
Salty foods and animal behavior.
Oh, paint chips and animal
Oh,
behavior.
paint chips and
These are good.
animal behavior. Great. So once we cue up the music, you just got to sing about paint chips and animal behavior. Are you ready for
Okay.
this?
I am so ready.
Here
All
comes
right.
some happy music.
The animals, they're gnawing on the paint chips and they're kind of happy, but they continue down the road.
Yeah.
All
They
right.
keep going, but somehow it doesn't slow them down. The paint chips with the animal salty paint chips and the animal behavior there.
I don't even want to stop this. It's too perfect.
You don't have to.
Keep going.
It keeps going down the road. Here they're joining with more paint chips. Then they paint chips all over their bodies as they go floating down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gary.
All right. We're going to give you some points for that there. Nice work, Gary Schwartz.
That was really good. I gotta hand it to you.
I love that song. I think that should be our national anthem.
We can start a petition.
The paint chip song.
The paint chip song. And how it affects animal behavior.
All right, so we are kind of,
Gary, we've been running you through the ringer. You've
you
been,
look a little exhausted, Gary.
It's been one thing after another.
Oh, just
This is like being on on Crossfire on CNN 20 years ago.
Yeah,
You
well,
really work your guests.
Yeah.
well, mind you, it doesn't stop here because we're gonna put you to the test yet again. Can you
Okay.
Can you handle it?
I don't know.
Okay, all right. Well,
He sounds confident.
if you don't mind, Maestro, I need a little bit of mood music.
Here we go. Let's go back to the lounge.
We're back in the lounge,
Back in
Gary.
the lounge. Yeah.
Have a seat right here and listen to these
Okay.
directions, why don't you? This little game is called Keep Away. In this game, I'm going to go through a list of things and places, and you tell us whether or not to keep away from them.
Okay.
Are you ready? And Joe
I
here,
am ready.
Joe will determine whether or not you are correct. Okay, here it goes. A skunk in a fancy restaurant.
Well, actually, I would like to be there.
I'll accept that because we don't support animal cruelty.
I
so-
was kind of hoping you would say, yeah, give skunks a chance.
Yeah,
right?
give skunks a chance.
All right, next one, roadkill.
I have to say I've eaten roadkill.
Ooh.
All right, we really like you, Gary.
That was 2 points. The second point was for actually having committed to that, and the first point was for the answer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm totally on the same page.
I've eaten roadkill in Alaska.
Wow.
What kind of roadkill? Just curious.
It was deer.
Deer. Okay, was it good?
It was delicious because they made a whole stew out of it.
Well, at least it didn't go to waste.
Was it a deer that you hit?
No, it's the city of Sitka, Alaska. Whenever there's any kind of roadkill, this gentleman that we're friends with, they would call him. He would pick them up, and he would. They were deer, different kinds of critters, and he would make stew out of them.
Wow.
Wow.
I'd love
This
to
meat is
visit
very,
Alaska.
very, very expensive in Alaska.
Yeah, everything has to be imported, I imagine. Yeah.
That's true. I
Very-
actually worked for a company once that sold spices, and Alaska always it was more costly because they didn't get everything.
Got to
there.
be shipped.
Yeah.
What other things may we decide to keep away from or run toward?
All right, this one will determine how greedy you are. A pile of jewels.
I run away from it because it would completely obfuscate my ability to be well thought of to the rest of the planet.
Oh,
We give you
Yeah.
points for your
Jewels would not
compassion.
yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Run away from those
Let's
jewels.
get 2 more points just there. There's 2 more.
Hey, Gary, you're doing real good. We saw you crack
We
a
got no
smile.
buzzers. These are all right answers.
Yeah, look at that.
wow.
All right, this is all dependent on your allergies. Peanuts.
Peanuts, I do have issues with peanuts.
Okay, then
All
you
right.
would get away from
Mostly,
peanuts.
mostly because they're just peanuts.
Yeah, and do you have allergies to anything else, or?
I am allergic to bullies.
Yeah, that's a good one to be allergic to.
Yeah. Three for that one. Three.
Yeah, Gary! Oh!
No bullies.
All right, next one. Telemarketers.
Oh, they're my favorite because I love to corner them and keep them on the line for as long as possible so that they're not wasting other people's time.
Oh my God, Gary. Can I speak on behalf of you too, Joe? We love you. We love you.
Don't put words in my mouth. We love you.
Yeah, see, he said it. He said it too. We love you. We're falling in love with you as this goes on.
When they come to me, though, I keep them on the line as long as possible.
Do you
You know,
ever
they
get
need friends
some
too.
amenable one, like some good conversation at least out of them? Like
On rare occasion, I get someone who breaks down and says the real reason why they're doing it and that they need forgiveness.
Right.
they need forgiveness.
And, dinner on the table.
Ah.
All right. Keep away or go to a bowl of jalapenos.
Oh, I always go right towards jalapenos.
Yeah.
Hey, Kathy grows them.
Oh, that's nice. So you have a garden, huh?
Multiple gardens. We have gardens in Corktown. We have gardens in Woodbridge.
And bonfires.
And she would actually grow them in both gardens.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jalapenos.
She would
we-
make salsa with them.
Detroit jalapeno salsa.
Stop it,
That's right.
please. You're making me hungry. Can we come over?
Absolutely.
All right.
Get fully vaxxed.
Yeah, get fully
Yeah,
vaxxed.
yeah. I'm working on it.
We're working on it together.
Yeah, we're working on it. It'll happen soon.
Hey, everyone out there in Radio Land, get vaxxed.
Get
Yeah.
vaxxed.
Yeah,
Do what you can.
it's good for you and it's good for your neighbors.
That's the only way we'll be able to come over and have those sweet, sweet jalapenos. What else is in the garden? Just curious.
Because this garden started, there's tomatoes, there's four different types of apple trees. There's a whole area just planted with garlic.
Nice.
Oh, that's a good one to
There's
have.
It's good for a potluck.
hazelnut trees, 6 of them.
What? Wait,
Yeah.
what? Hazelnut trees? You know hazelnut goes great with chocolate.
Oh
It's
yes.
true. Let's
Well,
see.
cool. Well, thanks for telling us a little bit about your garden. I have 3 more things.
To keep
Yes.
away from or not?
Yes.
What do you got?
A room full of kittens.
Oh, I'm sorry, but we just wallow in them. We gravitate toward them. They gravitate toward us.
It's the only obvious answer.
That's
Thank
right.
you very much, Gary.
Kittens are good, yeah?
What about a tub of lard?
That can be an issue depending upon how creative you are and what your plans are with it.
Yeah, what are your plans with the tub of lard?
what would your plans with a tub of lard be?
Well, with
Gary?
lard, actually, we could make, there are some, well, quite frankly, it does make the best tamales.
Oh,
Yeah. Lard
They
tamales.
do.
because of the fat content, right?
I'm vegetarian, but I'm not going to push my views on anybody else, so I'm still giving a point for that.
Hey, go Gary! And one last one for the road. Sweaty,
Okay.
sweaty, sweaty, stinky, sweaty, ripe gym socks.
Well, I have to keep them in the other room.
Yeah, I'd stay away from those. And
You've been
watch
nothing but a winner today.
them. Yeah, there wasn't one buzzer. I forgot what the buzzer even sounds like. I'm gonna hit it just so we hear it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the sound of losing.
Were you to
which
get
is
a
not
wrong
what
answer?
You're doing. Yeah,
that's
no.
what you would have heard.
It just you're.
I actually used to have a buzzer like that in my class when I would field questions, and if there were problems with their replies, they got the buzzer.
They got the buzzer. What kind of class do you teach? Just curious.
I teach animation class.
Where at?
Well, the classes, I teach them all over the world, in Armenia, in Serbia, in Detroit, in California, all over the face of the planet.
Well, thanks for teaching.
And I'm forgetting Ireland. I'm forgetting
Oh, geez.
France.
Okay, what else? And the Togo Islands?
Not the Togo yet, but I actually did teach animation workshops on the Hawaiian Islands, a few of them,
So you're everywhere. You're everywhere, man.
all over, just like this radio show is
Yeah,
everywhere.
it's everywhere. You can't get away from it. The billboards, the constant ads before YouTube videos.
You know, we're inundated daily with fans, you know, and we have to tell them, hey, it's a pandemic. Please wear your mask. I know you want to kiss our
but
faces.
it's
but
so changed. I remember when it was all either AM or FM signals or shortwave, but now it's ones and zeros over the internet.
yeah, it's just cracked wide open.
I can't even count that high.
I know. Speaking of counting and cracking things wide open.
Oh yeah. Oh, this is the last game. We got the last game, and the last game is all you've got to do is count how many bees there are. We're going to release some bees here. They're coming out.
Here they are, Gary.
Okay.
How many do you see,
No,
Gary?
stay.
You have to keep your eyes open. Come on,
Well, if
Gary.
you
This is
don't-
the last game.
If you don't wriggle around so much, they won't sting you so much.
Okay.
All right. We're gonna put them. They're going back in. They're going back in now. All right. There we go.
All right. How many did you count? I know.
I
I
counted
know your
the-
eyes are swelled up, and so's your mouth. But
There were 47 of them.
47 bees.
there were certainly 47 bees. Yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 47 bees! Yeah! Yeah! 47 bees!
Gary, we
I
gotta.
forgot to mention that's another thing that for years that they were making at the garden. They
Aw,
had beehives.
Aw.
that is nice. So is that no longer a thing?
not now, because 2 years ago the cold was so severe that was the end of the bees.
Aw.
Terrible.
Bee
Well,
space heater.
Gary, it's been such a
Climate change.
yeah, that's true.
That's a real
true.
thing.
Gary, it's been such a pleasure getting to know you this way. I feel like we squeezed a lot of things out of you, even though I know we tired you out. What do you got to say for yourself? How you feeling? You got anything else to say? Anything to say to the kids out there?
Oh, to the kids out there, just tune in, because this is where the good stuff is.
Aw.
They
Well-
can't avoid it. It's already ubiquitous. They can't get it out of their news feed.
All right. Well, I guess that's all we have for you today. We can go ahead and cue up that music to make it official.
Why don't we wrap up the game show portion with the game show theme once more time? One more time.
Well, why win when you've already won?
Situation with games and interviews. Every win-win situation.
That's for you, Gary.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Who did that theme music again?
That theme music is done by Billy Borscht out of Salina, Texas.
Thank you, Billy.
Yes.
Hey there, I just want to say thank you for listening to Win-Win Situation with Yvonne and Joe. We have another show, a music show called Waiting for Lunch Radio with Joe and Yvonne, and you can hear both of these shows at waitingforlunch.com. We kept talking to Gary Schwartz for some time, and a lot of it is really compelling and interesting, so I decided I'm going to leave it in, and we're going to listen to the rest of our conversation with Gary Schwartz here. And then at the very end, if you're dedicated and you stay all the way to the very end, I'm going to throw in about 30 seconds of sound design that I did for one of his recent films called Kearney Obscura. So enjoy our chat with Gary Schwartz.
Remember when we put up that the paper in that abandoned house?
Yeah, on 14th Street. That was...
And a family lives in that house now. We turned that house into a giant twin stereoscopic pinhole camera.
the
Wow.
camera Obscura.
You guys are my idols.
Yeah, so I went in with Gary and we put paper around the inside of the room, and so it's
Aw.
completely dark, and then you do two little pinholes.
Yeah, yeah.
And the light from outside is projected through the pinholes upside down onto the walls in full
Wow,
color. So
wow.
when your eyes adjust to the light, you see a projection of the exterior of the building in full color.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
so crazy.
And what's right directly in front of the building is the famed historic Michigan Central Station.
Right. So you're looking at the wall and you see Michigan Central train station upside down on the wall. It was a cool.
Did you take
Remember,
a-
we saw two of them because we did a twin version.
Yeah, it was a stereoscopic. And then you did time lapse going across the room of people observing it.
Yes,
Yeah.
with time lapse inside, time lapse outside. You know, when I think back on it, Detroit was a profoundly different place.
Very different. Yeah.
And how long ago was this?
Less than 10 years.
Okay,
This
yeah.
is, 2011, I think.
I
so
would
10
say
years.
so too.
Yeah.
Like coming back into everything, it feels different. I don't exactly know how and what, but something does.
Well, Yvonne went on a journey to Las Vegas and LA and then New York and then back here. So she's back here after what,
10
years?
years,
10 years.
yeah.
Yeah. So she left at that moment.
I mean, is this your home now?
Well, it's always been my home. I was born in Hamtramck, so yeah.
Oh, in the Ham.
Yeah, I'm from the Ham. And I was so excited to learn that the mayor of Hamtramck is a Polish lady that has a thrift store.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Oh, boy.
That alone made me just be like, I'm happy to be back. But also Joe and you. And
I once joked about her. I made some kind of crack about the parking meters in Hamtramck, and she was standing nearby.
Oh
so,
my gosh.
So I was like, blah, blah, blah. And then the mayor was like, I'm the mayor. You can talk to me about that. It's like, okay.
You really got it. You
Right.
got, yeah. You
Yeah.
got to watch what you say when you say it sometimes.
Hamtramck is so small, everyone can just hear you.
That's right.
Yeah.
Here's a city. At one time, when I was growing up, it was the fourth largest city in the United States. And now it's not.
I used to know it's a moving number. It was number 23 last time I checked, because I used to say that on tours, the 23rd largest, down from number 4.
It's still a number.
It still is a
Like the
number.
Hockey Bear, there are two cities inside Detroit, too. There's Hamtramck and okay, for 10 points, what's the other one?
Broccoli.
Highland Park.
Oh, yeah.
Highland Park.
Yeah.
2 separate cities inside the city of Detroit, Michigan.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
how many people on the face of the planet Earth know that?
Not a lot of people do, but actually you'd be surprised at WFMU in Jersey City. I found that there are a lot of songs about Hamtramck, and people there that play like rock and soul music and that sort of thing love playing those songs about Hamtramck. There's tons of songs about Hamtramck, country songs, rock and roll songs, soul songs that mention Hamtramck, and a polka song that specifically talks about Hamtramck.
Yeah.
Oh, if only Joe had the talent to pull up that polka song, that very song.
I mean, I could, Hamtramck, Hamtramck is a little old town, Hamtramck is a little old town. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
What do you think?
There you go. 2
Yeah.
places.
Yet another song to add to the pot.
So were the molecules of your body actually came from Detroit when you were birthed here?
Yes. The molecules. So my parents' molecules are from Poland. I actually just did a DNA test. It's all Poland, Germany, Lithuania, and Russia. There's no mystery to my background at all. And then,
See how small the planet Earth is?
yeah,
I am half Lithuanian.
no way.
Yep,
I can see that.
on my mom's side. And the other half is Russian. And I have to tell you, Russians and Lithuanians are among the craziest people on the planet Earth.
You are living proof of that, Gary. And those cheekbones. Cheekbones!
You've traveled extensively, Gary. So have you been to Russia and Lithuania?
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned that because I was actually scheduled to be teaching youth, animation to youth in Moscow, 13 to 19-year-olds, when whammo, that terrible little disease came across the whole globe.
Oh, I think I remember hearing something about that. Tom Hanks got it, right?
Yep, he
What
sure
are you guys
did.
talking?
Yeah.
What thing? What?
I don't know. It's something.
Like some
I don't really follow the
weird-
news,
I
but
don't
it was.
know,
I don't know.
yes. I've
You know,
just-
when it first happened, it wasn't even called COVID.
No, I don't know what it was called, but
They called it Corona.
Oh yeah.
right. Well, we know that they called it Corona. Actually, I did a
They changed the name. They actually changed the. It's such a horrible virus that they actually had to change the name.
Corona means crown in Spanish.
Yeah.
And actually, it also means crown in Polish. It's the same word in Polish. Corona is crown. And I did a screenshot during that time because people that were drinking Corona beer were actually afraid that the virus is coming from Corona beer.
That's how that works, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, well, actually, that is the source of the
And
virus.
I was already scheduled to go to Russia. They decided to cancel that. So I taught the class just weeks later in Yerevan, Armenia, but I did the whole thing from 6,000 miles away. So
beautiful.
we had to sort of turn on a dime how to do this stuff really fast. So I named the film The Corona That Nobody Wanted.
The where can
The
we see?
corona,
Where can we
the
see?
corona of thorns.
Where can we see your work?
Oh, all the work you can see, all the films on YouTube. My name, Gary Schwartz, and Single Frame Films. And so I have, I must have about 140 films on there.
And some of them are bring nostalgia to people, I think, because you worked on Sesame Street back in the day.
Oh, I directed for Sesame Street.
That was Alphabet Jungle, right?
Yeah, it's important. Those 26 letters are very important. I did the same kind of project. I did it in Armenia. Oh, this will be fun. And then I discovered there's 49 letters to the alphabet.
It's a longer film to make.
I had to do twice as much work in half as much time.
Always check the alphabet first.
It is. It's like, and I see why they have such problems. Too many letters.
Keep it simple, silly.
Do you,
They did.
now that we're coming out of, people are getting vaccinated and so on, people are able to be in rooms again. Are you? I imagine that you're filling up your calendar with more workshops and so on with people, or is it still?
Oh, yep. A lot of workshops. I'm going to art openings all over Detroit. Detroit. We went to, yesterday we went to a couple of galleries, and the day before that we went to the DIA. We can open up and start going places because we're fully vaccinated, but we wear our masks because we have to be still concerned about other people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think it confuses things if people stop wearing them,
We have to wear them.
For the greater couple of years, I think, possibly.
Yeah. Last night we went to a screening at the CCS. We went to a screening of The Graduate.
Oh, cool. That's always a great movie.
Really good to see that.
Yeah.
Seeing a movie in a theater, or in an auditorium.
Yeah, we're still going to theaters, but we're fully masked and we're fully vaccinated. So we're not getting it and we're not spreading it.
Cool. I'm in favor of this.
Me too.
We're doing positive things on the face of the planet Earth. I don't know about deep underground, but right on the surface of the planet.
I was thinking of moving underground for a little while, but then there was an election, and now I'm going to stay in my house.
Wait, hold everything. You're underground right now.
Oh my
no!
goodness. How
I'm
did
in a
that happen?
basement. I'm in my basement.
You've revealed to everyone our location. Our secret location is now unveiled.
Well, we actually have one of those skyscrapers like you see in LA at Universal City, where they have the black tower. We're in something like that because our show is so popular.
Yeah, like we have to have a really good signal and stuff, and so people can see where we are at all times.
The basement is just a set. It's the room is cut in half, and they have one of those cameras on a track in the ceiling that goes by.
Yeah.
Gets those shots past us like this. Very dramatic.
We want to stay humble.
It used to be the Desperate Housewives set, actually.
Yeah, it still smells like perfume in here.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. They wear a lot of perfume.
But we're spring. Now, it's really important. Is this day number 7? Is this the 7th day of spring?
The vernal equinox was...
Beats me.
I think it was 5 days ago.
Oh, so it's the 5th day of spring.
I believe so, yeah. It's more like that. Not 7 yet.
Instantly, everything changed here in Detroit. It just got warmer. It's just
got up to 70 degrees in March. Yeah.
Yeah, we're enveloped with the whole feeling of that. It's coming out. It's getting better.
Yeah.
It's getting warmer.
Yeah.
All the plants are coming out. All the flowers are coming in. We got revival. The next season's coming in. We feel it, and we see it, and we smell it.
I saw some climate change projections that by 2100, the Northern Hemisphere will experience summer that is 6 months long. So is that good? It feels nice for now.
Maybe we're meant to annihilate ourselves. Who knows?
I think Detroit would make a great refugee city for climate change disaster. We need to build now. And when there are refugees, we need to welcome them to Detroit, where we have fresh water and we're above sea level.
My parents say that's why they chose
what
Michigan.
What you haven't considered is that humans are refugees. All humans on this planet. We were brought here from another planet. So we are refugees. So we come with that. We don't even realize it, but we come with that attitude of refuginess.
Well, it is a term like homelessness that kind of the kind of otherizes. We're talking about people. We're talking about humans, as you're saying. So we want to welcome humans to our city for humans.
As fast and as many as possible.
Yeah, we like people. Bring them in.
I like that idea that we are all refugees. It's true. We make these houses. We make these things surrounding us that give us a sense of safety and like a sense of we know what's going on, but it's really a bunch of things that we've made up to make ourselves feel better about all of this.
Belonging and ownership.
Yes.
Community. That's something that we got in Detroit in spades when we moved here. When we moved here, that was in 2003. We didn't know a thing about this place.
And you were coming from LA, right?
Los Angeles,
For the
which is not a very community-oriented place.
Mm-hmm.
LA is the place you go to invent yourself.
Yeah.
Which is a type of a freedom all its own, but everything, no matter what it is, everything has got this side and the obverse and the reverse side, the positive and the negative side of everything. In LA, it's freedom, but on the other side, you are on your own.
Yeah. No, I felt that just walking around in LA. I hang out with friends when I go visit, then they go to work, and I've got half an afternoon to walk around, and I feel that. It's tangible.
Yeah, it's interesting that you say that because, like, what do you like about here versus there?
Okay, what we get, I go through a laundry list. What we get in Detroit is there's a sense of community that we never got anywhere else. But then again, there's the reverse side that do work within a certain parameter to be accepted. Except if you're at the street level. At the street level, everyone accepts you. At the industrial level, at the institutional level, no, you have to fit in. But at the street level, you don't have to fit in.
I think that there's an implicit understanding of certain cultural things that happens in what I'll call media cities, in LA and New York in particular. But I think that the general population has an understanding that the arts and also entertainment, and the arts and entertainment are a legitimate path to being a person. And in Detroit, there are a few examples of that, of people who did that here in Detroit. There's people from Detroit that went elsewhere. But I think that might be responsible for what you're talking about.
Well, Detroit was fundamentally founded by the native populations that were here for thousands of years, but they were tragically thrown out and dispossessed. And what the transition came in the 18th century with the French founding this place in 1701. So there's very much that kind of Euro-French culture here where dance and entertainment is a very, very, very important aspect of the culture. The English came in throughout the French, and they came from this different attitude of empire building. Mm-hmm. But the French, they really ran the whole of the Louisiana Purchase from New Orleans up there. So the reason why there's this sense of music that's so important in Detroit is because it was founded as a French city. That's where it came from. That could never be separated.
You can see these connections if you visit New Orleans. Cadillac is believe it or not, the Cadillac is the name of the guy who founded the Detroit settlement on the river. And that was 1701. 1710, Cadillac was in Louisiana and became the governor. And the Fort Detroit, the Fort of Detroit was Fort Pontchartrain, so that perhaps is connected to Lake Pontchartrain in New Orleans. If you're there, there's a musical connection that you can feel. Although I think New Orleans has it whipped up a little bit more than Detroit currently.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely more, well, I wouldn't even say more dancey, but it's, definitely more prominent.
Yeah, we were in New Orleans. We were there a couple months ago, and it's there's a sensibility about New Orleans that has a same attitude in Detroit of music, of not taking a lot of things seriously.
It's there's the thing that leads to that sense of community, I believe.
They take it very seriously in Detroit and down there as well, that sense of community.
Well, it's funny that you talk about, I'm having such a internal therapy session as I'm listening to you guys, because for me, it was a really big deal to leave my hometown. I really love it here. I have amazing friends who are incredibly creative, and now meeting new ones such as yourself, Gary, even though we've met twice. But yeah, just hearing about like the kind of pros and cons of environment. Environment is so important. Like I read tarot cards with my friend all the time, and environment comes up a lot as really big factor in what shapes you and what you do and how you do it. And one of the reasons I'm so happy that Joe is still willing to be my friend and just go for like creative projects is because it's harder here to really kind of crack that out. You know what I mean?
It's interesting you say it's harder here to do.
Or
What's
maybe that's my
harder here-
perception.
What's harder here is to how to monetize it.
Oh yeah, we've been talking about.
Yeah.
That's what's hard here. What's
Yeah.
easy here is there's a freedom here as long as you do not lock yourself into the institutions and organizations. Then you're free. But once you lock yourself into the institutions and organizations, then you have to start making some very serious compromises.
So what are some examples of that exactly? I mean, I hear what you're saying, but what do you mean by lock yourself?
When you ask me examples, are you asking this on a cultural level, on an economic level, on an institutional level, on personal level?
Let's just say cultural.
Okay, culturally, there's a sense of family here that's very strong, and people feel very, very, very connected here to other people. You can't ever be lonely here. There's just too much happening here that allows for that. At the same time, if you behave in a way that doesn't fit those normatives, you're an outsider.
Mm-hmm.
Like wearing this hat?
That's why I made you wear the hat. So that you stay the outsider. So in order to be truly free, you have to be very, very, very strong about being an individual and not be subsumed by that. But if you join the family, you get all the good things that go with that, but you have to leave certain aspects of your personality at the door.
Yeah.
And you have to decide if as an artist, if you can parse that out.
I'm thinking of examples like there've been without naming names explicitly. Like there's been changeover at art institutions that sometimes seems a little hasty, or that like there was some drama behind the scenes and something or another institution might change its name suddenly, something like this. And I do recognize that when somebody is coming in and trying to do something, that there can be arguments over that. I think my examples are too vague.
Well, in my personal case, I love Detroit, but I am and always will be an outsider.
Were you born in California?
I was born in New Jersey.
Oh, you're a New Jersey boy.
But I remember.
No wonder you're so nice.
No. If I was part of the mafia, you wouldn't say that.
No, I really genuinely sense that you're kind.
I remember being 3 and 4 years old. I used to press my nose up against the old black and white Dumont.
Can you press your nose up against the screen right now?
The big screen right there.
There it is.
There we go.
Right there.
All right. Oh yeah.
But when you're 3, 4 years old, you can your acuity with your eyes are better. You can see right to the surface. I would turn the TV off and I would watch back then the TVs the blue would go to a line and then to a dot and then would slowly decay. And I was trying to look at where that dot goes. I desperately wanted to be on the other side of that cathode ray tube. And then I'd turn it on and I'd watch that glow of that dot, and they would make a line and then it would build out into a full picture. And I was trying desperately how to get inside that tube, because there was so much fun stuff going on inside there.
Yeah, how do you find that place?
Did you ever find that place, Gary?
I figured out how to get on the inside of that tube.
Are you there right now?
I became an animator. I became a director, and I moved to Hollywood, and I figured out how to get on the other side of that tube.
You did.
But of course, when I moved there, that was 79. It was still the analog era. And I could get on the other side of that cathode ray tube.
Was it as fun as you expected from being on the obverse side of it?
It was a more dangerous. It was actually more fun than I thought, and more dangerous than I could possibly have imagined. So you get the full picture. You get the full everything.
It sounds a little bit like the movie.
The devil, you're going to get burned.
Right. It sounds like Stay Tuned, with that John Ritter from 1989 or whatever that film. If you've seen that, he goes inside the TV, but it's the devil.
I used to see him a block away from my apartment.
The devil?
No, John Ritter. I used to see him in the bars on Melrose Avenue, and then he had a heart attack. Yeah, he had a heart attack and died.
Yeah.
It was really, really tragic. L.A. was filled with just so many tragic stories.
Yeah, I know. I was a haunted Hollywood tour guide. The scope of the tours was people that have died and learning about how they died. And
True crime.
And true crime and
Yeah.
the Manson murders and, Cielo Drive and all that stuff. So I had quite a good time watching that recent Quentin Tarantino film because I felt like I was driving through all the spots that I remembered,
Do you think so? Social connection is one of the things that keeps people going. Do you think that some of these tragic stories in LA are a result of the lack of that sense of community that you sought out when you moved to Detroit?
Well, there's the confluence of what it means to be an American, and to be an American is actually an extremely lonely experience.
Everyone's forced to be a rugged individual.
It's the false sense of the rugged individualism, which actually never really ever existed. It's a myth. So everyone is taught to go for something that actually never existed.
Yeah.
So I did it with everyone else. We all went west. We all went there to make our names, to be famous, to do all that stuff. And I only lasted 24 years.
That's it? Get back and try again.
Sissy!
And then I left because I couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to go to a place that was more of community.
I'm glad we got you.
And then warn everyone else.
Warn everybody.
This is what it is.
Don't go to LA and try to get famous. It's a trap.
It's a trap, everybody! It's a trap!
Ah!
Any excuse for a sound effect.
Oh, man.
I love the time I was there, but I couldn't sustain it.
Yeah, I felt the same way about New York City. I really miss it. It almost hurts how much I miss it sometimes. But I think I just miss the shoe shopping. No, I miss the friends. Fortunately, unfortunately, came across a radio station where I made some meaningful friendships and learned a whole bunch about music.
I worked in New York. New York was this, but this was in the 80s. A very, very different place. And what was really interesting about New York, in so many ways, was and is the center of the known universe. And especially the thinking there, it's the center of money. It's the center of the whole television.
Trends, visual
in the United
trends.
States. It all began in New York, not LA.
Yeah.
Television was invented in New York, and all live television came out of New York.
But then they were like, it's too cold over here. Let's find a really warm place to do the same thing.
And then you seasonally move over somewhere else.
And somebody destroyed the bull statue, so we have to go find them.
Yeah, there's no more bull statue. Who did that? Who destroyed the bull statue?
Oh, it wasn't me.
Oh, come on.
I wasn't there when it happened.
We watched
It's
you
true.
do it.
He's got cover for it because he was at home. We see him.
That gigantic bronze
True.
statue.
Yeah, we made him do it, actually.
Yeah, that's allowed.
Because when I was in New York, you had to arbitrarily decide when you went to sleep because it was 24/7.
Because they're doing construction outside your window.
Just that the whole life, the whole scene,
Yeah.
restaurants and everything, and entertainment, everything. It's just a 24/7 city, as opposed to Detroit, which really it's very family oriented.
Well,
So
New
it
York,
shuts down.
yeah, New York is if New York is the city that never sleeps, Detroit is the city that takes a nap and gets some rest in and gets up the next day, gets up at 11:30 in the morning, and then gets going,
Yes, and LA actually is not a 24/7 city either.
and then hustles harder after getting up at 11:30.
It only has maybe one or two 24-hour restaurants, and that's it in the whole city of Los Angeles.
Yeah, yeah.
Cantor's is one of the few places
Yum.
that's 24/7. And for 16 years, I lived 2 blocks away from there. And every celebrity you can think of would hang out there. Because at the time, it was the only place that was open. I used to see members from the Doors hanging out there.
Yeah, cool.
Were they hanging out by the doors?
No, they weren't hanging out by the doors. They would go right inside and sit right down at their lounge tables.
Do you think if the doors hung out by doors, then it wouldn't exist?
They did. The Doors hung out by the doors.
They did?
Yeah.
That's how they started.
Oh.
Because where they started as a band was only a number of blocks up the street at Sunset and Fairfax, just a few blocks over.
Yeah, I remember
that-
Fairfax. I like Fairfax because the Fairfax district. That's what you were saying. That's where Cantor's is. That's where this cute little movie theater is.
That's where I lived.
That's
and
where you
2
lived.
blocks the other way,
Yeah.
that was CBS, Television City.
If any of our listeners are having difficulty with the geography of Los Angeles, we have an assist on our other show, Waiting for Lunch Radio, because Gary has chosen the song Pico and Sepulveda to play on that show.
It is a great
That's right.
guide.
And Pico and Sepulveda will provide you a full list of, I think it's every street in LA. I mean, in the entire metropolitan area.
Cahuenga,
The song is now 98 minutes
the
long because they
tar
keep
pits.
expanding it.
Yeah, they put all the street names in there. Have
Yeah.
you seen? Well, of course you've seen Forbidden Zone, Gary.
Oh yeah, of
Okay.
course.
All right. That's where
It's all-
that's where I
that's all
learned the
part
song.
of I had a lot of friends who worked on it. A lot of friends did the music for it, did special effects for it.
Okay, you're officially someone that I'm like really nervous around now.
Oh, come on.
I do remember going to a kind of an underground screening, and this is when performance art just exploded.
Yeah.
Was that in the 80s?
Well,
I
that's,
remember-
because that's when the Mystic Knights, that film came out in 80, I think. Yeah.
Yes, and
Yeah.
it was and there were small groups of people there, and I remember seeing River Phoenix there. And I think he died within a few months after that.
Yeah, in front of the Viper Room, right?
Yeah, so
He-
we would see all these actors,
Yeah.
we see all these celebrities everywhere, and
You know, Forbidden Zone, I don't remember the name of the animator, but there was only one animator on that film, and it's all this black and white cell animation to mesh with the film, and it's
but
beautiful.
there's still a lot of special effects in it.
Yeah, it's beautifully seamless, but it's all one person, the cell animation.
I went to the opening of the color version. They released a color version, and they had a big thing about it.
Yeah, Richard put out a video saying that he considers the colorized version to be the official version, that it's what he always wanted to do in the first place, and that
Yeah. I had a picture
What's
with
funny, though,
Richard.
is the star of that film
Yeah.
was also the star of RoboCop.
Wait, huh? Is it? You're talking about RoboCop? Who is that? That's Peter. What is his name?
Peter Weller.
Peter Weller. There it is.
He was
Peter Weller.
also the star of the other film too.
Wow, Peter Weller's in Forbidden Zone. My old roommate is Jerry Paffendorf, and Jerry Paffendorf is the guy who is behind the RoboCop statue that didn't quite materialize. But starting 10 years ago, he raised $60,000 to have a bronze statue of RoboCop created. And there are photos of the statue. So it got to the point where the statue was physically created, and now question marks.
Yeah,
Don't know.
I think the last I heard they rejected it. Didn't they also have that 70s kids show, H.R. Paffendorf?
H.R. Paffendorf, yes. H.R. Puffin stuff. Paffendorf, yes.
Paffendorf stuff.
That's the one. I remember Peter Weller came to the Lager House here in Detroit when Jerry was doing this, because he started doing it without permission, and then the movie studios got involved and were upset. So he worked out some kind of compromise with them.
because they own, it's an owned property.
Yeah.
Whether they made it or not, it's still an evil corporation owns it.
Yes.
Gary, I could hang out with you all day like this, but I do like 7,000 radio shows, and we have one to go after this, and then after that, I have to go home and do another one live. And then after that, on Wednesday, I have to do one for WAHS, and I might even take some of our stuff and air it. And I'm just going to keep plugging into that board. But that means that time is kind of running thin for me. You can continue with Joe. That's totally fine.
Joe makes soundtracks for me for my films.
Joe is an incredible human being. I'm glad you met Joe. I'm glad you two met.
It's fun to work together, and I hope to work together repeatedly and soon and on all kinds of things, and I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Me too. I hope I get to help with something or whatever.
The next month on the 17th is the day that I will be fully vaccinated, so I
Okay.
can go into buildings.
Yes.
again.
I don't have a date yet, but I'll keep you
And we
updated.
will, of course, we will bump into each other on the street at De-Electricity.
Ah, the electricity.
That's a done deal. That's going to happen.
Yeah, that's happening.
That's going to be
I don't know what this
September
is.
20, I think it's September 24th and 25th.
Do you have a work that's going to be in the electricity?
It looks like I'm going to be in it again. And I'm going to be working with the senior citizens at Hannon House because I'm very, very, very lazy. So I find all kinds of people who don't know any better who will do all the work for the film.
Revealing the secrets of a master animator.
Gary, you are a mastermind. Oh, I do have one quick question.
The
for
electricity,
you.
by the way, is an event in Midtown, in Midtown Detroit, where works of art generated by projection and light are created. So they do projections onto the main library and the DIA and other
Oh.
adjacent buildings
I think I've seen pictures of that.
around the cultural
Yeah.
center.
Oh, even if you live in other parts of the country or other parts of the planet, get to Detroit to see De-Electricity.
Yeah, it sounds amazing. That's so cool. I had a quick question for you, Gary.
Or a slow question.
It's a slow question. So, have you ever heard of Marceline, Missouri?
Marceline, Missouri. I vaguely have heard of that town.
Okay, so I'll tell you what. Walt Disney grew up there, and I got to
That's right.
I got to stop there on a road trip back home, and I got so excited about what I found there. They had a museum dedicated to him and animation in general, and they have an animation festival every year in this
Wow.
really small, weird little town. And I promised myself to just keep that noted in my brain and maybe go sometime. So that's why I brought it up. I thought you are a perfect person to tell this to.
Well, if you plan on going there, there's someone that you have to invite on the show that's connected with that. The person who really, really did the art and the work that made Walt as famous as he became. Iworks.
Oh yeah, right.
Because
Now, this
Ub's-
is a name that I don't know, but
Oob. It's not Oob. I thought it was Oob, but
It's Iworks, and he actually did, because Walt, as amazing as he was, really wasn't a very good draftsperson, wasn't a very good artist.
no, not at
As
all.
a matter of fact, the actual signature of Walt Disney, Ub created.
That is pretty funny. I loved reading his biography. You can imagine how excited I was to stumble. I actually did stumble across the town because I needed gas.
So you need to connect with Ub Iworks' granddaughter. She's a documentary filmmaker.
Oh, yeah. What's her name?
Iworks.
Iworks. Okay.
It's Ms. Iworks.
Okay. Ms. Iworks.
It is. Connect with her. Let her know.
I'll give it a shot. Yeah.
Because her whole life is about keeping his legacy
Alive.
alive.
yeah,
Yeah.
nice. I I think we should wrap it up there so we can get on with the 17 other shows that must be created today.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's exhausting to be so entertaining.
I know, but it's nice. It's so much fun. And I hope that, I really do hope that you had a fun time.
I had a blast.
Thank you for playing along with us today, Gary. Gary Schwartz got 42,900 points today. 42,900 points.
Yay!
And those are redeemable for Slurpees, actually.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
off-brand. It's not 7-Eleven. It's off-brand
We're going to
ones.
print out your tickets right now. Oh, wow, that's a lot of
I know.
tickets,
It's
Gary.
42,000 points.
Wow.
It's a lot
I'm
of
going to get
tickets.
a wheelbarrow.
Congratulations. I'm excited to see what you redeem them for.
I would like to donate them to the Society for Kitty Care.
Aw, just for that, you get many points.
We are kind to animals, and so is Gary. Thank you for being with us today, Gary.
Thanks, Gary.
Thank you so much.
Can't wait to see you in person.
We're coming to your house right now.
Yeah.
See you in a few minutes.
Please, I'll
Leave the door open.
have snacks.
And now, as promised, here's the soundtrack that I created for Gary Schwartz's film Kearney Obscura as we send you, dear listener, off on a haunted roller coaster to end this episode. See you next time.